The aim of the lesson is to help Year 12 students to understand what HSC markers are looking for in Extension English Module C, Languages and Values, Elective 1, Textual Dynamics. This understanding will assist them with their study and essay writing. This module requires students to investigate, explore and evaluate the ways in which language shapes and reflects culture and values. It allows students to focus on the study of language as they develop their understanding of values and the process of valuing. Composers will often hold up a mirror to society in their text to demonstrate the core values that are being compromised by questionable behaviour. The Textual Dynamics rubric states that students explore the dynamic relationship between and among texts, and between texts and responders, and how these relationships affect values in texts. Students consider how composers transform ideas and experiences into texts through insight, imaginative powers, and stylistic ingenuity, and how responders can be transformed, delighted, and impassioned by their interaction with texts. Among the dynamics to be considered are the cleverness and joy of invention, the challenges and pleasures of reading and interpretation, and the conversations between and among texts. Narrative and linguistic playfulness, experimentation with traditional forms, and originality are also focal points in an elective that considers the active and vital relationship that exists between composers, responders, and texts. In this elective, students are required to study at least 3 of the prescribed texts, as well as other related texts of their own choosing. In their responding and composing, they explore, analyse, experiment with, and critically evaluate their prescribed texts and a range of other examples relating to this elective. Text should be drawn from a range of contexts and media and reflect the interrelationships between composers, responders, and texts. As well as analysing the rubric, I recommend you also check out the HSC Marking Centre's feedback from the previous year. In 2015, the HSC markers identified that strong responses address the active role of the reader in the construction of text and meaning. Confidently use metalanguage and references to theory. I'd highly recommend that reader response theory underpins your study of textual dynamics, and I'd also suggest you check out critical theory and Derrida's ideas about deconstruction. Demonstrated a sophisticated ability to integrate discussion of all texts and make pertinent connections between texts. Provided a sophisticated analysis of concepts valued in textually dynamic work, and demonstrated sophisticated control of language to express complex ideas with insight and clarity. Finally, I want to suggest an essay structure that will assist you to address the requirements of the rubric. In your introduction, you should open with your thesis. To create an effective thesis, make sure you are using words or synonyms of words from both the question and the rubric. You need to sustain this thesis throughout your essay. And the best way to do this is to create 2 or 3 sub-theses that build on your thesis. In your second paragraph, analyse the concepts in the text that are valued in textually dynamic work. In paragraph 3, analyse how form and structure convey meaning and values. In particular, explore how and why composers experiment with the traditional forms. In paragraph 4, explore how the language features in text shape meaning and value and focus on stylistic ingenuity. Finally, in your conclusion, end with a personal evaluative statement, what these texts have shown you about the ways in which language shapes and reflects culture and values. I believe that following this structure will help you to analyse the text rather than simply describing them. Make sure that each body paragraph includes an integrated analysis of the text and that you make insightful links between the texts. I'd also suggest that you weave analysis of the interrelationships between composers, responders, and text into every body paragraph. And that's it, you've made it. To conclude the lesson, I'd encourage you to read and reread, or watch and rewatch your text as many times as possible. Find the key idea or theme of the text, which will be linked to the composer's purpose, and find a quote in each text that best exemplifies this central idea. Learn the rubric. And use the language of the rubric in your thesis, sub-theses, and topic sentences. In textual dynamics, you need to analyse your text through the lens of literary theories, in particular, reader response theory. Have a planned structure for your essay to make sure you analyse rather than just describe the text. Read the HSC markers from the previous year and learn from past student strengths and mistakes. So, as the Orchestra of Music begins to play, the final thing for me to do is to wish Year 12 students all the best with their studies and exams. Thank you so much for watching.